I just spent 15 minutes recording and my microphone was muted. Woosah. What is up, my sweet and precious loves? Welcome back to another episode of God is a Game Dev. It's been a crazy week. I think the announcement for the Spacesuit Jim competition was overshadowed by a bigger announcement for a Mordhau competition that everybody's looking forward to. So there's plenty of time. Remember, by May 5th, take your shot to get to the top of the leaderboard because I'm going to be giving the winner $20. It's free to play. There's no downloads. You don't have to do anything except click on the link in the description, go to the site, click run game, and boom, you're playing Spacesuit Jim. Good luck. I just saw one of the scores bumped up over Stewie's, which is probably gonna make Stewie a little mad, and he probably won't sleep for the next couple days trying to beat that score. But anyway, see how you guys do. What else is going on? I gave you guys a sneak peek of something at the end of the last episode. Hope you watch it to the end. We're gonna talk about where that's going and where that came from. Before we get there though, we talk a little bit about Jellycats. I had to shelf Jellycats for now. Okay, it's still coming. I will eventually get there, I promise you, because I really want to make that game. But an opportunity presented itself, and when it's for free, it's for me. So what happened was I was looking around for projects that I could volunteer in. I'll work for free if you let me record so that I can make content and then talk about the game development process as I go. And I found this project that was supposed to be like a kind of a sci-fi game, and I was down to help. But the guy that was going around recruiting all these game developers, he ended up being like a young kid, and he wasn't very organized, and he wasn't really leading the project. He was more interested in getting as many game developers as he could. When I saw things kind of start to go left, you know, I've been a part of enough projects to know that this was going to be a nightmare, and I bounced. And when I left, some of the developers messaged me and they were like, hey, why are you leaving? What's going on? And I told them like, hey, good luck, but I see the signs and I'm not with it. You know what I mean? So they were like, well, we really want to make a game. We got stuff we want to do too. So I said, well, if you guys want to make a game with me, I've had one that, you know, is in my notebook. I wrote an entire game out a couple years ago. I really love to play idle simulators like Egg Inc. or Cookie Clicker or whatever. Just stuff that you don't have to think too hard about while you're doing other stuff. So if I'm watching Netflix, I want something to do with my hands. You know, I love idle clickers. So I wrote this one about a lazy vampire who doesn't want to hunt anymore. Super cute. There's a whole storyline I have written out, and some of the developers that were on that project I was going to volunteer on, you know, I had a meeting with them and I kind of pitched the idea of the game, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. So now I have some people who are willing to work for free. They see that I'm serious about it. I see that they're serious about what they do, and I said, let's split commissions or whatever. And now we're going to kind of branch off and start working on that. I'm still going to have my side projects. I'm still going to entertain you guys, but that's the big game that I really want to focus on right now. So what do I need to do, right? I'm programming, I'm 3D modeling, I'm doing UI, I'm doing audio, I'm, you know, recording voice sounds, I'm writing the story, doing all the design. Like, it's a lot, right? So now I got a couple other people on the team to help me out. One of them's a really amazing 3D artist. The other one's even better programmer than I am, and I'm super excited to have them, and I'll introduce them in a future episode. For right now, what I really want to do is help with the 3D modeling, you know, at least the characters. If you guys remember when I modeled that character for the GameDev Roulette Challenge, I had a hard time keeping it low poly with a good topology. When I released that video, my editor, Fist, what's up? He actually sent me a message and he goes, hey, have you ever tried the decimate tool in Blender? And I was like, no, what's the decimate tool? And basically it takes really high poly stuff that's super subdivided, and it tries to average out where it cannot have things subdivided, and it makes it more performant. And in the end, that Jellycat model that was like however many thousand more triangles and faces and vertices than the model that I was trying to beat, I ended up getting it really close to that. So it was, you know, in the end, it was very low poly and high performance. So instead of doing sculpting this time with some 3D modeling, I'm gonna try a technique called box modeling, where you're way more conscious of the topology and trying to keep as few lines as you can in the topology while still getting the shape that you want. So I've been studying different techniques and watching different people's workflow on YouTube. That's the best way to learn game development, or anything for me, honestly, is I just watch somebody else do it. If I could see what you were doing, how you were working, what tools you were using, usually I can replicate it all by myself. That's one of my talents. So anyway, I got into it, and that's what we're doing. We're practicing heads. Not just practicing heads, but we're gonna practice rigging the face and, you know, trying to make a head move. And then I'm gonna get into the other surprise later on in the video, so stick around to the end. Also, if you haven't, please subscribe, hit that like button. It means the world to me. Eventually, I'm gonna have a Discord. I would really like it if somebody was like good at setting up Discord communities to contact me, so you could mod for me if you're interested. Yeah, hit me up. But anyway. let's get into it. What am I up to? Let's go. This is one of the cats that I made just for practice based off of this meme. He's beautiful, but he's very high topology. This was a very bad example. And just to be a little bit different here, I tried making a kangaroo, but again, topology is terrible. Here's one of the other faces that I was making. As you can see, the topology is starting to get a little bit better. This was one of my early efforts at the new method with box modeling. And then this guy is where I really put in the effort to keep my topology clean. It is much better. I also put an armature on this one so that I could animate the face. And you can see if I grab the main bone, I can rotate the entire head. If I grab one of the smaller bones, I can start to manipulate the face and stretch the face out in different ways. Like this. He's beautiful. But no, seriously, I can animate the keyframes. Let's see if I hide the armature. Now I can make him talk. This was really exciting for me because it was the first time I actually rigged up a face and weight painted the face. I was pretty stoked. So anyway, all that was lead up and prep work to what I really want to show you, which is I took my 2D ugly drawing of Spacesuit Jim and I made him 3D because I want to make the entire game 3D. So I'm thinking about what I have to do that. I'm going to have to bring a lot of stuff from the first project over. I'm going to have to change a lot of things, but this one, I'm going to really go all out. I'm going to make the enemies like the size of a planet, and they're going to be spawning from every direction, screaming at you. So you're literally going to like turn around and see, oh my God, this huge thing's chasing me, while you're looking up, trying to decide what platforms to go to. I'm going to model all the platforms in my new style and try to get them to look like they did in the game, but in 3D versions of the platforms. The particle effects, the smoke. I found a really cool space skybox. This is what I got so far. Meet Jim, the 3D version of my 2D little crappy sketch. He can. Please excuse the poor jetpack. I haven't brought the new jetpack over, but I made it. I promise it looks good. You can run. You can combat roll. I haven't brought over the particle effects. You're not hearing any of like the footstep sounds, but there's going to be basically all the particle effects that were happening in 2D. I'm going to bring them over here. So when he runs, there's going to be like blue explosions of color by his feet every time he takes a step. And then when he uses his jetpack, there's going to be, the nice bright reds and oranges that were popping out behind him before with the trails. I'm going to make the enemies gigantic, and I'm going to put audio on them. So imagine that big white platform is one of our normal 2D enemies, but in that size 3D flying at you, and you're not going to know where they spawn from. You're just going to hear them, and you're going to turn around slowly and see a giant planet-sized enemy coming at you, and you're going to have to tuck and roll and go up to your next platform. But I'm really happy with it. I'm still working on the physics. It's just really exciting to see a model that I made come to life like this. Like, Jim was a passion project of mine, and now I'll have a 3D version of Jim. It's gonna be dope. I'm also gonna make all the platforms 3D, the same as they were in 2D. So there's gonna be like rotating gears and big poofy clouds. I'm telling you, it's gonna be sick. But yeah, that's it. Say bye to Mr. Jim. Jim, go to sleep. I'm excited. That's everything for today's episode. And quick announcement, I'm probably going to be dropping videos every 2 weeks instead of every week because I'm getting a lot busier, and actually I just had a really important commission hit and these videos take a long time to make. So I will catch you in 2 weeks. See you in the next one. Peace.